Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. Coming up, we'll be joined by Peter Thomas to talk some Hiller Girls Soccer, and the boys will join us for NFL picks and more. But first, here are the latest Hiller happenings.
On Monday, October 7th, Hiller Girls Volleyball had their annual Dig Pink game to raise breast cancer awareness as they hosted Norwood. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy were on the call.
Norwood not going away easy here. Hopkins got to realize that. 24-18. Forbes serves it into the net, and that will do it for set number one. Hopkinton takes it 25-18. Hopkinton up big here in set number two. Adriana, another good serve. Figueredo couldn't handle that one. 25-7. Hopkinton takes. Nice serve. Liv handles it though. Here, back set for Adriana with a big swing to finish the match. Hopkinton takes the third set, 25-21, and the match. What a win for the Hillers.
The girls win their third straight game. Elsa Woodbury tallied 11 kills. Adriana Aquino served up 8 aces. The Hillers got the sweep over Norwood and then went and got the sweep in Dedham on the road on Wednesday, October 9th. The Hillers are now 12-4 overall. The Hillers now have 9 sweeps on the season. On Tuesday, October 8th, Hiller Boys Soccer battled Medfield.
In the Hiller territory, flying up the field, Charles Kermy into the box along the end line, sends it out and in. Wow, that was a tough angle to take that shot at.
Medfield took a 1-0 lead heading into the second half, and they would net 2 more goals in the second half and take the 3-0 win over the Hillers. Medfield improves to 7-3-2. Hillers fall to 3-6-2. On Wednesday, October 9th, Hiller Field Hockey hosted Norwood. It was a 1-1 game until the third quarter. Norwood would end up netting 2 goals in the third quarter and another in the fourth, and took the 4-1 win over the Hillers. Norwood is at the top of the TVL with a 10-1-0 record. Hillers fall to 4-5-1. On Friday, October 11th, 11-0-1, Hiller Girls Soccer hosted a good Dover Sherborne team after a 3-3 tie on Tuesday in Medfield. It was a scoreless game until the second half.
Recupero working the end line. Closing in. Takes it. Oh! Goal, Hillers! Maddie Recupero with her 40th career goal. Keene scoots it through. Collerin. Over to McCann, who airs it out. Oh, it's in! Ashley McCann goes long distance. Clark airs it out. And there's a boot, and it is a goal for none other than Maddie Recupero, second of the game. On the far side, Natalie Prisco crosses it, header in! Riley Collerin off a beauty of a cross.
Maddie Recupero nets a pair of goals in the win and tallies her 40th and 41st career goals, and it was her 19th and 20th of the season. The Hillers net 4 second-half goals and take the 4-1 win over Dover Sherborne. Hopkinton is now 12-0-1 on the season. Dover Sherborne falls to 7-4-2. Hiller boys and girls cross country also captured wins over Holliston this past Wednesday. Both teams now stand at 4-0 on the season.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by Peter Thomas. Peter, how are you?
Great to see you, Tom. I'm doing great, man. We're riding high off of another Hiller girl victory, Tom.
Absolutely. A tremendous win against a good Dover Sherborne team. Pretty dominant win. I expected the game to be a little bit closer, especially with how the first half went. But Dover Sherborne are a very well-coached team, and it's actually a former Hiller coach over there, Everin Gundez. But he does a great job with that program, and they're certainly a tough team. They played the Hillers very tough in the first half. It was actually scoreless heading into the second half. Maybe it was 1-0. I got to look back.
It was 1-0, I think, but the girls they broke it open. And I mean, they kind of do that, right? Like we've talked about that before. At some point, it's kind of that Maddie Nina combination. One of them gets frustrated enough with a lack of scoring and just says, I'm gonna hold my beer for a moment. I'm gonna take over for a second, and then nets a couple goals, and then it just sort of gets the party started.
It was Maddie Recupero stepping up in that one, and we got to congratulate her, Peter. She scored her 40th, which was the real landmark, but also her 41st career goal in the win against Dover Sherborne. She now has 20 on the season.
We have talked a lot about Maddie. We will continue to talk a lot about Maddie on this show. I think you and I have run out of superlatives for her, but let me just say this, okay? I think we counted 5 games remaining in the season. All right. Georgie Clark had, from last year, our viewers will remember, I think Georgie has 52 career goals. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. Is that right?
I believe you are correct.
So 52 career goals for Hopkinton. Maddie has a shot at taking over and being the all-time leading scorer in Hopkinton school history. But here's what I want to say about that. I'm going to put a big asterisk at the end of that, because if she does do that, remember that many of Georgie's goals were set up by Madison Recupero. Yes. Maddie was the all-time assist leader. She's probably the all-time assist leader. I'm not sure who's tracked, but she must be at this point.
She's up there.
She has to be. And so she could have, as we know, scored a lot more goals. But because Georgie's, she was such a ruthless goal scorer, Madison was her setup player for so many of those career goals. So if Maddie actually overtakes Georgie as the all-time leading scorer in school history, having also been the all-time assist leader and the setup man for Georgie, I mean, that is an astonishing accomplishment. That's what I want to say about that.
Absolutely. Very impressive in that game. And it's when the Hillers were getting some good shots. And actually early on in that game, Dover Sherborne was winning the possession battle. It kind of took the Hillers a little while to get going, but then once they got going, they did it with authority and really controlled the possessions of the game and kept the ball in Dover Sherborne territory and got significantly more shots off in that game. And
I think if you look at it too, the goals that did go in, one of them was from, I think Ashley McCann had a goal, right? Our left defender had a goal, and she had a goal from 25 yards out or something like that, and it was just perfectly placed, upper V. Those goals, a lot of them were just beyond the outstretched hands of the keeper at Dedham. Look, Madison had 2, Ashley had 1, I think Nina TZ had 1. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's just it's like they get it going. And I don't know, we've talked about this. Do you think it's fitness, Tom, like that wears the teams down, or do you think they deflate their opponent by just, kind of taking that, just winning the possession battle? What do you think it is?
I think it's a little of both, to be honest with you. I think Dover Sherborne, after a while, seemed to struggle to keep up with them a little bit. So I think, that goes with the fitness and then the ability of the Hillers just to keep up with their. I mean, look at their pass rate,
Yeah.
75%. They possess the ball 68% of that game. So to keep up with a team that has such crisp passing, I think is a struggle
It's
for most
impossible. You're just
opponents.
chasing the ball. You're chasing the ball the whole time. I mean, we've talked about that before with, that being Skiba's strategy is just keep the ball away from the opponent. And, after a while, 45, 50, 55 minutes of just boom, boom, ball going here, there. It's so many one-touch passes. And for our viewers who watch your broadcast, there's always that sort of 15 minutes before the game where where you're not talking, but the camera's trained on the Hillers as they're warming up. Look at the drills that they're running to start the game. It's always a drill like monkey in the middle, where it's a one-touch pass, right? There's one or two penny defenders they're just playing keep away basically. But this is just all small triangles, and then that just goes and manifests. It just goes and manifests as the game plays out. It's just so many one-touch passes that I think by the 55th and 60th minute, the opponent is like, I'm just beat. I'm just beat, you know?
Yeah, I mean their ability, their stamina, it's like no other. It's not like anything that you typically see. This team's just committed. Uh, Coach Skiba has these players bought in, these athletes bought in, and listening to what he wants them to do. They're doing the off-season workouts. They're putting in the extra work that they need to put in to have the success they've had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think after last year, they're hungry to get back to that level. They want to get
Yeah.
to state semis. They want to get to the championship. So they are completely bought in and committed. Uh, and of course, they're a very talented team as well, which certainly helps. And there's a lot of girls on this team. They've been playing together for quite a few years. So I think
Yeah.
the experience together also has helped.
So the revealing thing about this slide you're showing too. So Maddie obviously has 20 goals, and the next nearest scorer is Riley Colleran with 6. She's a freshman, number one. Number two, she doesn't start. She doesn't start. She
Right?
comes off the bench, what, 20 minutes in to relieve Nicole Tedstone. So when you look at that, you're looking at a non-starter as your second leading scorer. That tells you that, with 10, you have 9 girls graduating this year, which sounds like a lot, right? And you have a 10th with the team manager who's a senior as well. So 10 are going to leave this program, but you see your second leading scorer there in Riley Colleran as a freshman, got a lot of great years ahead. A lot of
Yes.
great years ahead of
And let
you.
me tell you something about her. She's one of the fastest athletes I've ever seen. I would
Hmm.
love to see her and Maddie in a foot race because I'm really
Yeah.
curious to win. But when Coach Skiba puts them together, you have all that speed on one side. It's pretty unbelievable. And
Oh
right now,
man, you're just reminding me of the third goal, or I think the second goal. Riley against Dedham, Riley dribbled the ball down the sideline and just hooked her defender and then crosses it in for a
yes.
header. Who put the header? Was it, I can't remember. Was it Natalie Prisco? I can't remember who scored that goal, but it was like you couldn't diagram it better than that. It was beautiful. And that's the
Oh,
speed you're talking about.
oh, it certainly was. I want to say, was it Alex Clark who was playing up?
Oh, it
And
might have been
I
Alex. Yeah,
think it might
coming
have
up
been
from the
Alex.
defense. Yeah. She's pretty good in the air. She's pretty good in the air.
And I should have my score sheet in front of me, but I didn't come prepared. So apologies, folks. But yeah, I believe it was Alex Clark. And then I know the long distance goal, which was really impressive, was Ashley McCann.
Nice to see her get on the board there, right, for the first goal of the season. Nice to see
The
your defenders stepping up and making a difference there, huh?
the way she kicks, she might be able to score from midfield. I don't know, but she has a boot. Pretty unbelievable
Indeed,
goal.
indeed.
And then,
So what are they looking at? Yeah, what does it look like here? Is that oh,
well,
those are the
here's
standings.
your
Yeah.
standings. I think it's very safe to say that Hopkinton Hillers will be crowned as the TVO large champions. I don't see anyone catching them. The standings in no particular order, as you might realize. Hiller's 11-0-1. No, the closest team is Holliston, 9-3-1. So Holliston is still technically in the running. The Hillers haven't clinched yet, but I don't see Holliston catching the Hillers. But they got 5 games coming up, and it's against league rivals, division rivals. So you can't really, you got to take all these opponents seriously, as I know the
Hmm.
Hillers are going to
Hmm.
anyway. You got
Hmm.
Norwood coming up. So that'll be an interesting one. You'll probably get a lot of the younger players some experience in that game and have some
Yeah, is
fun
that the
with that
Thursday
one.
game, Tom? Is that the one that's coming up here this Thursday?
That's going to be Tuesday in Norwood. The game
Okay.
we'll have on HCAM is Thursday against Dedham, who is 4-8-1, but they're a good team. Dedham typically has a good program, and they had a tough schedule, so you don't want to take them too lightly. But then the real big match is going to be at Committee and Field in Holliston on Tuesday, October 22nd, where you got Holliston, and you could actually, I believe, if I think you could clinch. I think that win would clinch the TVL large. So that could
Yeah,
be
I
the
mean,
title
they
game
they
right
played
there.
Holliston on September 10th and they dismantled him. They won it 8-1. Okay, that was
Yeah.
real early in the season. That was the third game of the season.
That was the first game
Now,
of the season, actually.
so
Or
okay, so
first home
Holliston
game.
first home game of the season. Yeah. So Holliston has come back since that defeat and won 9 times. So you know that something is going to be different. That's going to be a better game than it was
Oh
when they
yeah.
saw him early in the season. They must have been missing somebody because they've gone on and played pretty well. So I think that's a really good match. But speaking of the Dedham game on Thursday, that for our viewers, that's senior night. So you're going to see a lot of Hopkinton seniors. This is their last, this is like the big night where we honor the seniors. They come out on the field. They've got the posters out. The parents come out. That's a really fun event. So if for folks thinking about coming and attending a game, this would be a good one to see because it's a chance to cheer for the girls that have put so much work in over the last couple of years, and send them off well.
Well, that won't be the Holliston game. They're on the road that
No,
game.
that's the Dedham game.
Dedham
That's
game.
this
Okay.
Thursday. Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
going to
That's
be
the.
there, Peter?
Of course I will. I'll be
Oh,
on the field. I
all
got I
right.
got a senior.
You'll have to
Of
come
course.
visit us.
Yeah.
And then listen to this though. This is how they end their season: Holliston, Westwood, Ashland. That's a tough stretch to end the season, but it's also good they end the season like that because you're getting playoff caliber teams 3 in a row heading
Yeah.
into the playoffs.
100%.
And
100%. And yeah, and look at our ranking now, right? Fifth. That's the
yeah,
power rankings, right?
we got fifth right now. They were actually fourth until that tie against Medfield. That actually I think moved them down a tad, but they still have a chance to get to number 4 or 3. If you look at the rating at the end there, that number pretty close with Needham and Bishop Feehan. I don't know if you'll catch Wellesley or Natick, but I think they could. If they win out, I think there's a chance they end up at number 3 heading into the postseason. But don't quote me on it. It'll also depend, of course, what Needham and Bishop Feehan do because they could win out too and maintain their rating that's slightly over the Hillers. So chances
Now, I
are they're going to finish in the top 5. Hopefully, they'll be able to finish in the top 4 because then you have home games up until the semifinal or the
yeah.
quarterfinals.
Yeah, I
So,
think actually too, if I remember, I heard a rumor. You can see Natick had a tie there. I believe the team that tied Natick was Brookline, who the Hillers defeated 3-0 on October 5th. So that's to me, that is pretty interesting because Brookline, the Hillers took care of them in a hot
yeah,
second. And yet Natick struggled with them. So I don't really know. I didn't see the game. I don't know what was going on there, but that tells me that Natick team might be faltering a little bit. I don't know. You don't know what happened in a game, but it was uncharacteristic for Natick because they're such a strong program. It was
right.
uncharacteristic for them to have to be drawn into a tie there.
Well, I mean,
Um,
Brookline, they're ranked 7th, and I know their record's 4, 5, and 3, but
yeah,
their
yeah,
schedule is
tough
loaded with
schedule.
with D1 teams, so that's
Yeah.
why they're ranked so high.
Yep.
And most other schedules aren't so loaded with D1 teams because it's a league thing. In the TVL, the Hiller Girls are the only D1 team, so they have to book all D1 teams out of league. So obviously, you're not going to get as many of them as a team like Brookline that has a bunch of them in their own division. So,
Yep. 100%.
but yeah, I mean, that was the win for Hopkinton. That win over Brookline that really moved them up the rankings because going into that game, they were hanging around the 11th seed. So
Hmm.
it was that win that moved them up there and gave them the
We
boost that they needed.
we got to get into the top four. We got to have that home field advantage.
I agree. It's pretty important. You want to get that home field advantage. Every game's going to be tough in this D1 bracket. There's not going to be an easy game. So playing at home, it's a little easier, but obviously this team, I think they're willing to play anywhere, anytime. But obviously
Very
with
deep bench too. You look at some of those names. I mean, just a super deep bench the Hillers have. I mean, you got it's. I almost think, I mean, you look at Riley, going back to Riley and Nicole. Nicole's the senior. You start Nicole, sure, but I think that teams when Nicole subs off, they think, oh, finally my defense is going to get a little break, and then you put Riley on, and it's like, no,
yeah,
no, it just got worse for you, not better, right? And you look at some others that come on. I mean, Polcarney is back. She's made a huge difference since being back. Oniga from the injury there, right?
yes,
I mean, you just got so much pressure that you can continue to apply as the rotation happens. So I think maybe that depth is a factor in when we talk about the games being broken open, could be fitness, could be that they just get a little deflated because the Hillers score and start to possess the ball so well. Could also be the reserves. There isn't a major drop
yep,
off like other
no,
programs where you see subs come on and there's kind of a drop off in the pace of play and stuff like that. Doesn't seem to happen for the Hillers.
no, it really doesn't. The depth is what will help this team in the postseason. You need that depth. Those are the teams that win championships, the ones that are ultra deep. And, we talked about a number of the veteran athletes they have on this team, if you will, but think about some of the new girls that came in this year. Natalie Prisco, who's been unbelievable. She provides a boost when you need it. Of course, you got someone like Fotini Gransos and Alex Clark.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, they may start sometimes or be reserves most of the time, but they come in, they switch things up, and they could keep that same momentum going. So when your starters are starting to get a little bit tired, you still got a bunch more talent that you could bring right into the game and pick up where you left off. And depth is
Yeah, and
everything.
that sheet you're showing comes off of the Huddle system, which is the camera for our viewers that don't know. It's like the camera that tracks the game and all the metrics and stuff like that. And I'm counting on the sheet because I'm looking at the same one. There are 18 players on the team that have taken at least one shot because that's how you get on the huddle board is to
Yeah,
take a shot, and that's when it starts to track you. Okay, 18 players. There's only like 20 on the roster or something like that. I don't
yeah.
know. So basically, almost every player has taken at least one shot in a game. That'll tell you the depth of this team. Fun
Oh,
team to watch, man.
absolutely.
Fun team to watch.
It really is, and Coach Skiba has fun with it, and you see sometimes he'll put people different places than normal, and these girls on this team, you could put them anywhere, and they're going to compete, and they're going to be tough to deal with for sure. But believe it or not, Peter, that is just about all the time we have for this segment. We'll certainly do it again in the very near future. And maybe next time we'll be talking about probably the last three games or so in the postseason. But any closing thoughts about this team?
Well, I said it at the very first episode. They will win the TVL. I stand by my prediction. Let me see. Can I come up with a bold prediction? I think they're going to be ranked four going in they're going to finish out strong. And I think that the power rankings, they should have no choice but to look at the math and go, yeah, makes sense. Hiller should be in the top four. They're going to be four or better in the power rankings. That's the next goal to hit. To me, they've already got the TVL, but they're going to, yeah. And Madison, she will be the all-time leading scorer. She's got 5 games left to do it. She's got to hit 8 goals in 5 games. I think she can do that.
Now
She'll
is
set
a
a goal
bold
for herself.
prediction.
That's a bold one. I know. But that's a bold one, but I'm rooting
I
for
like
her.
it.
I am rooting for her.
Absolutely. She certainly has the ability to do it. We know that. That's for sure.
You see what happens when she puts her mind to something.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure there's part of her in there that's aiming for that, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
But all right, well, it should be fun. We look forward to their games this week, and we'll talk again soon to Peter Thomas about Hiller Girls Soccer, and maybe talk about some of the boys as well in the next segment. But we thank you for watching this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. We'll have more in just a bit, so stick around.
Saturday morning cartoons are back. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., HCAM's Toon Time has an hour of classic cartoons, from Betty Boop to Superman to Popeye to Bugs Bunny and more. You'll see your old favorites and discover new ones. So tune in to Toon Time, Saturdays at 8, and start your weekend off with a laugh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by Jared Keene and Andy Barron to talk some NFL. Guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tom?
Oh, I'm
good.
just fantastic.
You should be more than fantastic. You haven't lost a game yet this week.
That's right. I know. I'm setting records over here. 13
You had a heck of a week, man.
heading into Monday night.
Wow.
You had a heck of a week.
I'm
Who you
pretty
got tonight?
shocked.
You got Buffalo tonight?
Yep. So they'll
Okay.
probably lose to blow my undefeated streak.
Oh man, that's going to be a punch in the gut if they lose.
This week was either going to go my way or was going to go your way, and it clearly went your way, which was.
I didn't think it was going to go my way that much. I'll tell you that.
I
I thought it was going to be mixed, and we would end up in the
immense.
same position.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, very
Well,
impressive.
well, thank you. It's been a very unpredictable season, so I'm a little shocked that I was able to be 13-0 heading into Monday Night Football, but I'll take it. And we'll take a look at those standings in just a moment, but and have our Week 7 NFL season just flying by. But first, let's talk about that Pats game. Let's just get right into it. Andy, have at it. What were your thoughts about that Pats game? 41-21 loss to Houston, but tell us about what you think.
Well, this is what I've been thinking is the way Drake May played. My question to the both of you is, should he have started week 1? I think a lot of people are asking that today because clearly he's the better guy. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. He made some very impressive throws. I was impressed because the Texans defense is really good. Drake May was making plays with his arm and his legs. And again, I thought he had a solid game. But overall, the Patriots were not winning this game. Even when they were only down 14-7, it felt like it was 28-7. It really did. The Texans didn't have to play their best yesterday. They were head and shoulders above the Patriots. There's so many things, problems are wrong with this team internally and externally. But Drake May gives me a little bit of hope. But man, we still have a long, long way to go. There are no moral victories in the NFL. They were dominated for most part. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. Just continue to keep killing this team every single week. Whether or not the officiating was bad, there was some questionable calls, but still, they just never can seem to make the play that they need to get them going in the right direction. It's always a flag, it's a penalty, somebody drops off sides, or roughing the passer call. These are just mistakes that cannot be tolerated. And clearly, Gerard Mayo is extremely frustrated. I think he took a jab at the Kraft family in his press conference the other day, and this isn't a good look. I mean, this is the type of stuff that I used to see in the early '90s when this team was horrible. and they're going in that direction. But you just can't. They didn't construct this team to win. Let's face it, guys.
Yeah.
They didn't. They just
Yeah, and I
didn't.
think that's what the big problem was with Drake May starting against a very good team and a very good defense like Houston, is the fact that they didn't give him much to work with. They didn't give him an O-line. They didn't give him weapons. And he took a lot of big hits yesterday, I'll tell you that. He took a lot of huge hits. And he started off a little shaky, but, that's almost to be expected. He's a rookie making his first start against a good Houston team. But he really came into his element, and he made some passes that Jacoby Brissett just simply can't make. I'm definitely more impressed with Drake May's ability over Brissett. He's obviously the better guy. And kudos to the defense as well, because they really played great. You look at that 41 and you might think that the defense wasn't great, but that's not the case. There was a lot of turnovers. There was a couple fumbles deep in their own territory by the Patriots, and the defense was put into a lot of rough situations. So the defense, they played good, and they played good. I wouldn't say excellent, but they played good. Good enough to win that game if they had some kind of offense that was consistent and didn't have so many turnovers. Jared, what were your thoughts?
I'm going to start by answering Andy's question. Andy asked, should Drake May have been starting from week one? I'm going to say yes and no, because I see two sides here. Yes, in the sense that I think it's pretty clear that he gives us the best chance to win. He's clearly the better quarterback. Again, would it have made a huge difference in terms of win total right now? I don't know, but he clearly gives us the better chance to win. On the flip side, I will also say no, because with how bad our offensive line is, and it's atrocious. I mean, it's the worst in the league. I'm going to say that hands down. Our offensive line is the worst in the league. Obviously, like we said, Andy said he took some massive hits yesterday. He could already be injured by now.
In fact, at one point, he came up a little limpy.
He could be severely injured by now. He could be out for X amount of weeks right now if we started in week one behind that offensive line. So, but yeah, I mean, I think overall, a pretty positive start for him. Again, you can't expect him to be brilliant in his first start against a really good football team. But he made some outstanding throws when he had time in the pocket. Again, he made plays with his legs. Yeah, again, I would say for the most part, positive. Again, a couple of interceptions, a pretty bad fumble. But again, I think that's probably to be expected against a good defense. I think the defense played okay. But I think even if the defense plays well, I don't think you're still winning this football game. And that's where I slightly disagree with you, Tom. I think Houston was going to win this game either way, whether our defense played well or not. They're just a better football team. They have better skill position players. They have a better quarterback. They have a better defense. They have a better coach. And that's massive. Again, I mean, D'Amico Ryans is.
Well, no, I mean, my point
yesterday is a heck of a
point
hire.
was if the Patriots had more weapons and an actual O-line, they might have had a chance to pull this off.
Fair. That's fair.
But
they don't, though. They don't have those weapons. They don't have that O-line. So, again, yeah, I mean, again, I was very encouraged by Drake May, but again, I don't think you're winning that football game either way yesterday. So, again, a tough opponent. Yeah, just going to try to move on now. And Jacksonville is pretty in the crapper right now, pardon my language. So, again, I think a winnable football game next week.
Well, so let me ask you guys this. Let's say you're the guy, and I don't think any of us wanted to start him or support the decision, right? For this game. But let's say you're the guy that made the decision to start him. Do you regret that decision today?
No. Starting Drake May? No, I don't. Because let me say this too. Like that throw he made to Kayshon Boutte, that was legit. That got me out of my seat. Like, whoa.
Like in the, I mean, that was right in the breadbasket. Again, Jacoby Brissett does not make that throw.
Yeah.
By the way,
That was a
Keyshawn
legit
Booty,
throw.
he's something. He's got something going.
Tom, I told you this, guys, before too, that Keyshawn Booty was projected to be a first round draft pick before he got hurt and his stock went down. So if he continues to do what he's doing, this could be a steal because that was a legit play. That was a legit throw. That 5-for-5 drive he had, that was very impressive. Finishing off to Hunter Henry for the touchdown. And then the one he threw to Pop Douglas. Solid.
Really nice throw
solid.
in the middle. Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Hit him in stride again, allowed Douglas to use his speed and make a play there. And yeah.
By the way, I'm ready to cut Austin Hooper. He's worthless. That fumble, he had a drop and a horrible fumble. He's awful.
He used to be pretty good too. Again, when he was with the Falcons for a few years, he had a few really good seasons. But
what is it with these tight ends that have like a good pass, right? They're really good. Then they come here and they're awful. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. We've really struggled with that. I mean, Hunter Henry's been solid. I think you'll agree.
Yes.
That was a good signing.
Oh, Henry, I'm keeping all day. He's been great.
Solid player. You know what, guys, though? I think I mentioned this in the text yesterday, but you know what the difference in this game was? It was Joe Mixon. What a signing this was.
Oh, yeah, he had a heck of a game. He was outstanding.
Massive signing for the Texans. And I think that they didn't have an answer for him yesterday. He's really, really good. And the receivers for the Texans just...
And the Bengals, they could have used them on Sunday Night Football.
Sure, absolutely.
They couldn't get a running game going, Cincinnati. That's why they almost
the Texans didn't even have their best receiver. Sorry, the Texans didn't even have Nico Collins.
Right.
Nico Collins plays, maybe they put up 100 points on us.
Yeah. And there it is. There's our picks from the week. We're recording
it on Monday. What a week.
So
really well done.
Thank you very much. I got to say, I'm quite thrilled to have an undefeated week. I didn't think it was going to happen, especially this season, the way things have been going. So 13-0 for me. I'm back in first where I belong. Haha, just kidding. And Steve is in second. Steve went 10-3 this week. He had a pretty good week. He's 4 games out. Jared, he'll have some work to do to get back into it, but I think he will. He went 8-5, and he is 5 games out. And Mike had a well-needed good week. He went 10-3. He's 10 games out, so he has some work to do. And Andy went 9-4. He's 9 games out. So we all had a pretty good week. We all finished well above 500, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll say a few of my picks here again were a little sus. I think I think maybe picking Seattle maybe wasn't the best, but I look at 3 of these picks here. 3 of those picks that I lost were 1-score games. Washington losing by Baltimore by a score, Tennessee only losing by 3, Denver only losing by a touchdown. Again, those games could have gone either way. They went in your favor, Tom, and they did not go in mine.
It happens, I'm sure one week they'll go in your favor, not mine, and we'll probably be back to neck and neck in the standings here. But there was no real upsets, and when we make these picks, we're trying to evaluate when are the upsets going to happen, because there's going to be a few, especially this season, where everything's pretty even, really. You'd expect quite a few. By the way, for those wondering, representing Pasta.
Nice.
Bad loss for the Bruins, by the way. Horrible. Florida just has their number. But anyways, with that, let's get into Week 7 NFL picks, because that's how fast this season is just moving along. It's unbelievable. We'll start off with Thursday Night Football. Denver Broncos at New Orleans Saints. Broncos, while pretty much all of you expected them to beat Harbaugh's Chargers, they did not. I went with the Chargers. Actually, Mike went with the Chargers, too. Chargers got the win in that. Broncos just looked straight out flat. And the Saints, they lost one of the crazier games I've seen against the Bucs. Bucs were up 17-0 and then fell behind 24-17 or something, or 24-20, whatever it was. And then went on to come back and end up winning that quite handedly. They actually put up 51 points, I think it was. So the 50 burger. So impressive stuff there by Baker Mayfield's Bucks. Although they had a very rocky quarter there. So this is an interesting matchup for Thursday Night Football. Are you guys taking Denver or New Orleans? I'll start. I'm taking the Saints. Andy, who do you got?
I'm going to take the Broncos. This is the return of Sean Payton to New Orleans. The Saints are just way too inconsistent. I don't know what Saints team's going to show up. They give up a lot of big plays. Their offense sputters. Denver didn't have a good week, but they still were in that game with the Chargers. And a short week and a Thursday night, you never really know. It's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna take the Broncos by a field goal.
All right, Jared.
This is actually probably one of the harder games, I think, to pick of the week, to be honest, because you think about injuries from this weekend. Pat Surtain, one of the best cover corners in the league for the Broncos, concussion. So I don't know if he's going to play, but also Chris Olave, probably best receiver on the Saints, also a concussion, probably not going to play. Both teams not great quarterback play. I mean, the Saints are going to be starting Spencer Rattler. I guess it was okay yesterday, and Bo Nix was pretty horrible yesterday for the Broncos until maybe late in the game when he threw a touchdown pass to Cortland Sutton, etc. But I really don't know here. I have no idea. Normally I'd go Saints all day.
Go with the home team when you don't know.
I'll say Denver. I'll say Denver also by a field goal.
All right, I like it.
I got to try to get one back on your time. This is a weird game.
It is a weird game. I agree.
Yeah, doing it with Denver Broncos. That's the right call. New England Patriots at Jacksonville Jaguars.
Come on, man.
As we pick this game, I want you guys to answer. Do you continue to start Drake May for this? I absolutely start Drake for this. And you know what?
You have to start Drake May here. The Jags secondary is terrible.
I think Drake May puts on a show in London, and I think Patriots get the win here. Jared, who are you going with?
Again, this is a real barn burner here. Again, Jacksonville is I think Jacksonville might be more on the crapper than us right now, which is weird to say. But again, Travis Etienne left the game this weekend with an injury. Trevor Lawrence is not playing consistent football. This team is a mess. I'm going with the Patriots here.
All right, Andy.
Drake May is the starter until further notice.
Yes.
That's it. There's no more discussions. Yeah. And I agree with Jared what he says. If the Jaguars lose this game, Doug Peterson's gone. I think he's already checked out. This team is a disaster right now. Horrible. Just horrible. The Bill Belichick watch is beginning in Jacksonville. Patriots are going to go in. They're going to get a win this week. And it doesn't going to mean that they're all of a sudden going to turn it around. It's just because the Jaguars, I think, are in worse shape than us. Don't be surprised if you see Mac Jones in this game.
Wouldn't that be something? Mac Jones versus Drake May. Oh,
I thought of you yesterday when CBS panned onto some guy with a Mac Jones shirt on and he put duct tape over it and put May on it. I said, is that Tom Nappy there?
I think if Trevor Lawrence gets injured, Mac Jones comes in and somehow leads the Jags past the Patriots, God. I think you have to fire Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo's out.
Yes, cut Drake May. All right, we're going to try to go a little quicker through these. We're limited for time. Seattle at Atlanta, another tough pick here. Andy, who do you got?
Atlanta, they're playing well right now. Got to admit, the Falcons are playing well. Seattle's not playing well. They're just not playing well. This is gonna be a tough game for them.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, I'm going Atlanta here. Atlanta's playing well right now. Good football.
Yes, Seattle's been very shaky. They did just have a bye week, but I'm going to roll with Atlanta. They're at home in this one. Tennessee at Buffalo. We're going to wait on that one since we haven't seen the Monday night game. So
Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo regardless.
All right.
Will Levis threw 22 passes yesterday and only threw for 95 yards.
I'm probably going to go Buffalo too. Yeah, all right. I'm going Buffalo.
Buffalo.
All right, we're all going Buffalo. Let's just keep it moving along here. Cincinnati at the Browns. Is anyone going with the Browns?
Oh, atrocious.
God, no.
Hey, look, they might be the worst team in the league.
Horrible.
Jacksonville. Jacksonville is. But Browns are close second. Houston at Green Bay. This is going to be a great matchup. What's with these great games in the 1 o'clock time slot, and then the 4 o'clock time slot's horrible. But anyways,
I agree with you. I agree with you, Tom. This game probably should have been flexed.
yeah, I'm very torn on this one. This should be the Sunday night game, to be honest with you, instead of
Where's this
Jets
game?
at Pittsburgh. Really?
At Green Bay, Jared.
At Green Bay.
Jared, you get to pick first on this one.
Oh man, this is at Green Bay. Tough place to play. Jordan Love just threw 4 TDs this weekend. I'm going Houston.
All right, that's good.
No, this is a really tough game to pick. I think this could go either way. Green Bay could be playing good football again. Jordan Love is just coming off a 4 TD game this weekend. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going Houston.
I'm going Green Bay. They're just on another level right now. I don't know if Houston could stop this team. I think this game, though, pound the over, baby. Andy, who you going with?
I agree with you, Tom. I'm going with Green Bay. I think it's going to be a good game, but the Packers are really tough at home. And I just think Houston, they're on the road for the second straight week, going into Lambeau. It's going to be tough. I'm going with the Packers.
Actually, I'm going Green Bay here. I think only reason I'm going is because I forgot actually that even though I made the point earlier that Nico Collins is out, I think if Houston had their full receiving core, I'd probably go Houston. Since I think Houston is a little shorthand in their receiving core, I'm going to go Green Bay.
Yeah. You just don't want to lose another game to me. I'm just.
That's a tough game to pick, man. That's a tough game.
That is a very tough game.
Yeah.
You're not wrong either way. So,
yeah.
Miami at Indianapolis. Is anyone going to trust Miami?
God, no. How can anybody pick the Dolphins right now?
All right. Indianapolis across the board. They're just a mess. Here's another great 1 o'clock game. And I heard they tried to flex this one, but they couldn't because of some contract stuff. Detroit at Minnesota. I am very torn. Andy, you could start off this one.
I'm going with the Lions. I know Aaron Hutchinson, a devastating injury this week, but the Lions look good. They absolutely demolished the Cowboys. I mean, it wasn't even close. I think Minnesota's due for a loss here. I like the Lions in this game. It's going to be a good game. This is going to be a very tough NFC North game, but I just think the Lions are a little bit better. Quarterback, it's Jared Goff. Like he's just looks really good right now.
This is another game you should probably pound the over. Although the defenses are good, but both of these offenses are kind of unstoppable. Jared, who are you going with?
Detroit. Insane yesterday. Absolutely insane. I mean, Jared Goff spreads the ball around so well. You're going to have an elite receiver going against an elite receiver in this game. Again, even though Aiden Hutchinson, though, I mean, Lions are just insane. I can't pick against the Lions.
Well, I mean, Minnesota's undefeated. The Lions did look really good last week. So torn.
I know it's tough.
Tough pick. It's a tough pick to make.
Minnesota's off the bye week. Detroit's red hot. I'm going to go Detroit. I just think Detroit's offense is just crazy right now. And, I know Minnesota's 5-0, and it's very impressive and still kind of shocking to me that they're 5-0. I almost think they're not going to totally fall off, but I almost think they're going to come back to earth at some point. They are playing really good football right now, and I'm not trying to undercredit them, but I don't know if they're this good.
Yeah, Sam
we'll
Darnold,
find out this week. If they come out and they beat Detroit, all bets are off. Minnesota's
they're going to be taken really seriously.
Defender. This is a huge game for the Vikings to prove
Massive.
Huge game for Detroit, too. Sure. Philly at the Giants. Anyone going Giants?
No.
God, no. Please, no.
Pathetic.
I mean, they had a real chance. Joe Burrow looked like Speedy Gonzalez last night. Again, Joe Burrow isn't the most fleet of foot, but holy cow, that side of the field was wide open last night.
Yeah.
What are you doing if you're the Giants? Like, what are you doing?
They had a real chance to win that game last night in a national spotlight and kind of show that they could compete, and they just blew it, completely blew it. All right, 4 o'clock games, Las Vegas Raiders at the Rams. Is anyone going to trust the Raiders?
What a brutal game.
Horrible. Yeah. No, Rams.
That's an atrocious game.
Kyron Williams, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm with that.
Carolina at Washington. Anyone going to trust Carolina?
Oh,
No, Washington. Washington gave Baltimore a good game this week.
They did.
They
They
did.
did.
They were very, very competitive. That game was wildly entertaining. Washington across the board on that one. Kansas City Chiefs at the 49ers. We'll go around the table on this one. Andy, who do you got?
I'm picking the Chiefs until further notice. I mean, you can't bet against them now. As much as I dislike the team, they're the defending champs. I mean, the 49ers are just they're just too banged up right now. I think they'll eventually get it together, but this is just again, it's the Chiefs until further notice.
I agree. I'm going Chiefs. Every time I pick against them, it bites me. So San Francisco is not as good as they've been in the past couple of years.
No.
They're still good. They'll be competitive. They'll be in the mix, but I'm going Chiefs. Jared, who do you got?
This is one of those weird games where I'm actually going to go San Francisco here. Brock Purdy is playing good football. Looked really good the other night against Seattle. They got Deebo Samuel back. George Kittle looked good the other night. Oh crap, Jordan Mason got injured. Oh man, maybe not. Yeah, Jordan Mason got injured, and he leads the league in rushing right now. Holy smokes. Uh,
Do I get back to me later?
yeah, whatever. I'll stick with San Fran. I'll try to get one on you here.
All right. Jets at Pittsburgh. We're going to skip that one. Let's go to the Monday
If I
game.
lose that game, if I lose that game, that's on me. That's on me. But
Yes.
I'll go
Hey,
San Fran there.
you never know. I mean, you can never count out the 49ers. And they are at home, so keep that in mind. Two Monday games this week. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Very torn on this one, but Baltimore just seems to be at an elite level right now. Tampa Bay, I mean, they put up 51 points, which was ridiculous, ridiculously good. But they were still a little shaky at the same time. And I feel like you can't do that against this Baltimore team. But you know what? I can't deny my boy Baker. I can't. You know what? Give me Tampa Bay. I had Baltimore written down. I'm going Tampa. I can't deny Baker. Jared, who do you got?
I'm going Baltimore here.
All right. Andy.
I'm going to go with Tampa. I think it's going to be a good game, and Baltimore's playing very, very well. But Tampa's tough at home, and I agree with you, Tom. They did look a little shaky there, but this is going to be an interesting game. And I think it could go either way. Some of these Monday night games are like that. It's a AFC NFC team, but I think it's going to be a close one. Give me the Bucks.
You know what was amazing? Mayfield had 2 picks, and they still put up 51 points.
I know. Weird
It's
game.
unbelievable.
Weird game. You know?
Where was the Saints defense?
Oh, it's been terrible.
All right. Chargers at Arizona. Anyone going to trust Arizona?
Oh, God.
Marvin
Chargers.
Harrison Jr. got injured this weekend too, concussion. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, this Arizona team, I cannot literally figure this team out. Really. Like they're lost.
Yeah.
What
Yes,
is
they
it with them?
are. They
just don't.
would they put up 14 points or something? And now without
Horrible.
Harrison Jr.,
Yeah,
they might not win. They might not win a single game.
they might be in. Listen. You got the Browns, Patriots, Jaguars, Giants, Panthers, and maybe the Cardinals all fighting for the number 1 pick right now.
It's true. Should be interesting. A lot of bad teams.
Oh, too many of them. Too many.
Well, there it is, folks. Our Week 7 NFL picks. We're just about out of time, but we've got a couple of minutes. Any final thoughts? Jared, you could start us off.
Just excited for the Bruins. Again, bad loss today, but good win yesterday. Pasta with a nice goal in OT yesterday. Or was that Saturday? Or was that yesterday or Saturday? That might have been Saturday against the Kings. But yeah, just excited for the Bruins. Excited for the Celtics to start in about a week and a half. And,
Saturday.
yeah, just looking forward to seeing those two teams compete this season.
All right, Andy. Final
Keep it
thoughts.
simple.
Just going to piggyback off Jared. I'm very excited for the Celtics starting against the Knicks next week. Listen, this team just looks like they are already in midseason form. They might win 70 games this year. I'm not joking. They are stacked from head to toe. I know Porzingis is out till Christmas, but I really don't think it's going to matter. This team has a very, very good chance of repeating. They got everything. They have all the tools. And just real quick on the baseball postseason right now, the Dodgers are head and shoulders above everybody else. I don't think any of these other three teams have a chance to beat them.
All right, I got
Well, the
Dodgers.
Mets are running it right now.
Dodgers Yankees World Series for me. Dodgers win it. Real quick, who do you guys got in the World Series?
I have the Dodgers and the Guardians, and I have my heart says Cleveland, but my mind says the Dodgers.
All right, Jared.
I'll go with the Mets. Sure, why not? Give me the Mets.
Mets Yankees Subway Series.
I mean, aren't the Mets are running the show right now in today's game? I think they did a grand slam earlier. Was it 6-1 right now? Is it still 6-1?
Yeah,
I think. I don't know.
All right. So you got Mets Yankees.
Yeah, I'll go with the Mets.
All right.
Give me the Mets to win it all this year.
Our bonus picks, our World Series picks. Whoever is most accurate gets a point.
All right, there you go.
That's going to do it for this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. For Andy Barron, Jared Keene, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching. Take care, be well, and oh yeah, don't forget, lots and lots and lots of Hiller Sports coming up this week. So be sure to head over to our website, HCAM.TV, to check out our broadcast schedule. It is absolutely packed. You're going to get a lot of me, folks. Hopefully that makes you happy, but if it doesn't, I apologize. But in any case, head over to our website, HCAM.TV, for our broadcast schedule. And also, don't forget, 7:30 tonight, our brand new show premieres, TVL Sportsnet. We have all kinds of great stories throughout the TVL that you'll get to see some cool segments of. We got some great interviews. We're working with multiple cable access stations on this show, and it's going to be awesome. That's 7:30 tonight, the premiere, TVL Sportsnet. But for all of us at HCAM, take care, be well. We'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.
On Wednesday, October 16th, HCAM premieres a new series called TVL Sportsnet. The program will air on nearly all public access cable stations who cover TVL teams and features stories, highlights, and interviews from throughout the league. And right now, we give you a sneak peek at the brand new series, which premieres very soon on HCAM and other TVL Town stations, TVL Sportsnet. The game remained a 13-7 game heading into the halftime break. Millis continues their drive into the fourth quarter. Quarterback Liam Kraby connects with wide receiver Jason Fournier for an 18-yard gain to